Hello, screenwriters. Welcome back to a brand new episode of reading Buddha reviews on my script. And this week, we're going to be reading the channel's favorite screenplay, A Soul Lost in Brooklyn. And this feedback is actually from Slim Dance, so it's a new one. The biggest problem with this script is that it is far too short. It definitely needs to be expanded. At only 82 pages, a script like this is truthfully missing out on 20 to 30 pages of much needed story and character development. This particular draft reads like a lot of the story is washed over, especially because of the circumstance involving Damien's murder. There was plenty of opportunity to really push the uncertainty of the characters. The writer has the right idea with the friends each questioning each other on who might snitch. It's just a small amount of distrust that would culminate from them. You almost wanted to get the feeling that one of the friends might kill another, believing them to be the murderer. But at the end, no one knows until the tragic end. While I liked how much of a badass Detective Wallace is, he breaks a bit too many rules outright and in front of people to feel realistic in the social media age. While we don't want him to be a by-the-book type of detective, he feels very bipolar in his character. One minute he's pulling a gun on a suspect in front of witnesses and threatening to kill them. The next, he's having an honest moment with Capella over pizza. It contradicts itself. Furthermore, Detective Andrew is wasted and should have been put to more use. He's billed as the by-the-book rookie detective, yet doesn't do a good job being Wallace's moral compass or voice of reason when he does illegal police activity. The ending is tragic, but occurs far too abruptly. Of course, Capella has all his guilt, but it seems extreme that he will take his own life considering that he and Jamal don't always get along. The fact that he doesn't wrestle with being the actual killer, which ultimately leads to his brother's murder, needs to be reworked as it just doesn't feel realistic. With the quick ending, there are also questions to what will happen that aren't explored. Alonzo is last seen breaking the news of Capella's death to Sherry, but we don't get a real understanding of what will happen for him in this aftermath. I did feel the reveal of Capella was a nice touch, while I personally figured it was him the whole time, because as it is, it's usually the one you shouldn't expect. The way the scenes are written will make you assume anything, but the problem I had with this is that we don't get a strong explanation on why he did it. It feels so out of character that there should have been more of a struggle as Capella pulls the gun on Damien. This feedback is perfecto, and one of the things this reader mentioned is something that I kind of struggled with when I was doing the rewrite based off this feedback is the guilt that Capella should have, because he murdered someone, right? And, if you murder someone, especially if you're a good kid, you should have guilt. And the original draft of the screenplay that, he had no guilt. I mean, I didn't realize that he had no guilt until a reader pointed out. After the murder, he went about his regular life, hanging out with Sherry and friends. Yes, of course, there was that moment where he was scared, but scared and guilt are different. I reworked the screenplay and then I definitely made him feel guilty. And basically every scene after the murder, he wasn't the same, right? Because, I've never murdered anyone before, but I would figure if you murder someone, you wouldn't just go about your regular life. If you do, then you're a psychopath or lunatic, and this was not the character Capella was. I reworked it, and every scene after the murder, he basically had guilt, and he had to navigate his regular life around that guilt until the tragic end. Thank you, Slam Dance, and thank you, reader, for this wonderful feedback. As a result, it definitely elevated the story. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe, and go to stratword.com to write your screenplay. Fade out.